We're back.
It's been a minute.
Did you guys miss us? Did you really?
I
Because,
would have missed us.
yeah, I missed us a little bit.
Hmm.
I did. I'm happy to report we're back. And if you don't know, the top surgery has been completed.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot going into that, up to that. And so here we are, officially 3 weeks post-op today.
Oh, yeah. I didn't
Today
realize
is the
that was today.
today is 3 weeks that
Yeah.
I've had.
Gosh, it feels like it's been longer than
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's
that.
talk about first, like, if you're watching, like, can you just admire like how flat I still have a binder on, so but how flat that is.
Yeah, you can see the binder,
The
but
binder has like clamps and a zipper, and it's a whole contraption here holding me in place.
you've been updating on Instagram and TikTok, so
Yeah, if you're not following along on there, hopefully we can update you here today if you're just tuning in for this. But so much has happened. We have overcome a lot.
yeah.
It's like, where do we start?
I know. I'm like, where do we unpack? Where do you even begin? I
Well, let's just start with as prepared as we were for surgery.
and we were prepared.
We're very prepared.
Yet surprise, we weren't prepared at all, really.
You just gotta roll with it,
Nothing is
you
ever what you
you
expect
just
it
have
to
to
be.
you just when it comes to surgery or any like big life changes, is like you can plan all you want, but then there's going to be obstacles and things that pop up that you were not even wasn't even on your radar. And I think for me, probably the hardest thing, I mean, there were several hard things about the surgery, but um having my surgery and the very next day getting my period.
That was unfortunate.
That was awful. That was awful. I was like, what is happening? I am bleeding from multiple areas and I am so emotional and I am freaking out right now.
Yeah, but okay, so to back it up a little bit, surgery itself went really well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Everything went as planned. The
Mm-hmm.
operation was smooth. It did not feel quick to me, but apparently it was as quick as it needed to be.
How long do you think it was total?
It lasted almost 4 hours from beginning to end, but for me, I had to leave before you had been brought all the way back, and then I had to wait for you to wake up enough for me to go back. So 5-ish hours that I
That's a
was
long
waiting.
time. That's a lot. I would be going crazy.
I was going crazy.
Yeah.
I did my best to fill my time and I made it through, but it was, you know, they tell you that they're going to update you throughout, but you're just getting these text messages that's like, patient is doing great. And you're like, what the fuck does that mean? Okay. Um so yeah, once I got back there though and saw you, it felt a lot of relief. And when the doctors told me everything went well, it was definitely a moment of like, okay, I can breathe again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Took you a while to wake up. Took
Yeah, it
you a
did.
while to not feel sick.
I was very nauseous from the anesthesia. That was hard. That was very hard. That is like, imagine drinking too much and you're spinning and you feel nauseous and you just want it to end and you want it to be over with, but you don't want to be sick and all of the things. And you were feeding me tiny little pieces of graham crackers.
Crumbs, y'all.
Crumbs.
I'm talking crumbs. And I'm like finger feeding Kirby individual tiny little crumbs. I think the nurses, either they thought it was cute or they thought it was weird. I couldn't tell for sure, but
I wasn't paying attention to any of that.
I was like I was babying it. So
I do want to report back that I did have to take a pregnancy test.
Yeah.
And it was negative. we
Better
thought
luck
there
next
we
time.
thought that we told the lady, like, hey, there could be a miracle. There could be a miracle here because a week ago, this obviously before the surgery, we were like, Ember could have impregnated me.
I mean, things happen.
Yeah. Miracles happen every day, you guys.
Yeah. But then we left same day as planned, drove home right away, which looking back, I'm glad we decided
the
to
drive
do
was
that.
rough.
The drive was rough, but imagining doing it the next morning and staying in a hotel, I'm really glad we didn't go that route.
Yeah, we thought the hotel would be a thing, and then I was like, you know what? I want to be home. I want to be in my own bed. I want to be around all of my normal surroundings, not in a hotel room.
Yeah.
So
And I'm thankful for that because you did end up taking some pain meds, being prescribed some like, like narcotics. And so one thing I learned about you during the process is that you don't do well on pain meds. It's like this vicious cycle of in a lot of pain, so you take something for it and then you get really sad, like so sad and emotional, and then you pass out for like a long period of time and then it repeats. And that's
yeah,
basically how you were for the first 2 to 3 days. And that was hard because I didn't want you to be in pain, obviously. So my first thought was, okay, is it time for more medicine? Yes or no? I'm staying on this every 6 hour clock, making
you're
sure
such a good nurse.
making sure you keep up with your meds. But then every time I would give it to you, I'd be like, here we go. Like, just got to buckle up and take it because you would get very sad.
I find that interesting though, because when I don't prefer to drink alcohol. I like to enjoy a drink every now and then, but to get completely like drunk and have a hangover, um, I have what I've always called emotional hangovers. Really low states, very sad, depressed the next day. And I find it interesting while taking oxys for 3 days, every 6 hours around the clock, I was extremely sad.
Yeah.
Very, very sad. Lots and lots of crying, like
So many tears. And
more crying than I'm used to.
if you're like me, I've always gotten emotional myself when people that I love are emotional, and I can't have a conversation or watch someone that I love cry and without crying myself.
Mhm.
So it wasn't just tears from you. It was like both of us were just fucking trying every minute of the day not to bust down in crying fits. And that part, when I say that while we prepared for so much, I was not prepared for the emotional toll that it took on us.
Yeah, it was heavy. It was very heavy. And then there was the irritability, and the irritability was a combination of my menstrual cycle and the pain and being uncomfortable in my own skin and just feeling so helpless.
Not to mention the fact that they didn't poop for like 5 days. So the bloating, y'all,
I'm telling you,
I never seen nothing like it.
between anesthesia, oxy, and just
And
I
5 days
didn't
of not having a bowel
know
movement.
that like my period was coming. I don't pay attention to that. And so I was like, what is happening? My stomach was so just I looked very
I thought the
uncomfortable.
pregnancy test was wrong for a minute. I did. But
Okay.
it was right.
Okay. So yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, and um learning to sleep sitting up
God,
and
awful.
trying to get comfortable, and no matter what I did, um it only lasted like 5-10 minutes, and then I'd wake up and then I'd be like, let me shift, let me move. um but we got through it. That first shower after a full week of not showering, that first shower was amazing. um the moment I got to see my chest for the first time, so you had been taking care of
I
my
had already seen it.
changing my dressing. You have like nipple bolsters on, and protecting and keeping your nipple grafting sewn into place. So like we didn't see those, but you every time you changed my bandage, what?
Nothing. I'm
Oh.
just curious to hear how you experienced.
You had me look up or like close my eyes, and like I didn't see anything. I wasn't looking at any of it, but you did, and you were like, "You're gonna be happy. You're gonna like it."
I kept trying to, and the reason I'm smiling is because I remember thinking to myself, this looks so fucking good. But like, I don't want to get too excited because I know you can't really, like, you wanted to wait for that moment.
Mhm.
And so I would just try to reel it in and be like, okay, yeah, no, it looks great.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
tried to keep it so nonchalant when I could tell immediately that you were going to be really happy. And that's just what I kept saying was, I think you're really going to like it. I think you're really going to be happy. And you were. Your exact words were, "It's perfect."
It is. It is. It is very perfect for me. And while I completely have to keep telling myself, do not get attached to your nipples. don't get attached to your nipples, guys, when you're doing nipple grafting.
They
Because
change a lot.
they change so much. And, when you see, like, I hear everybody, like, doctors referring to them as, like, your pepperonis, okay? When you see your little pepperonis and they're, like, darker and a little bit larger, that's not the normal, that's not what your size is going to be. And um I'm in this stage right now where um they're very scabbed. They die first. They die and then they come back, right? And so, like, I'm at the stage where they're scabbed up, scabs are coming off. Not all
Colors are changing
Yeah,
because
not
of
all
that.
at once, like big scabs. You don't want that to happen, but they're changing.
Mhm.
And you don't know, like, what the end result is, and they're not going to be a perfectly circular shape, or the pigment might be different throughout because you're waiting for that blood flow to come back to the surface to take more color. And if it doesn't take full color, then you look into getting that pigment tattooed at a later date or something. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. I mean, it's not necessary, but if it makes you feel more comfortable to have consistent coloring throughout your areola and your nipple, then, like, tattooing would be your next best option.
But also, I like the approach of imperfection is perfect.
It's a little whoppy soppy.
Yeah, I think there's so many different ways that people's nipples look even naturally before top surgery, and so you don't want everything. It's like eyebrows. You never want your eyebrows to be twins. They're supposed to be sisters or whatever they say. So, like,
Yeah.
I think all in all, your surgery and the way that it turned out is better than I could have imagined, and I didn't really know what to imagine. I didn't have, like, an idea in my head of what you were going to look like, which is interesting to say because I had seen so many different outcomes on videos. I guess it was just really hard for me to envision you post surgery, but whatever that was that I was kind of trying to envision, it is better.
Yeah, it's almost like this mind, like, I feel like a mind fuck of, like, oh my God, what was life like before when I had breasts? Because now I feel so much myself. I look in the mirror, I feel like I did on the inside. And so not having breast has made me realize, like, there's a part of you that you're like, oh my God, like, what if I do regret this? Or what if I do mourn them and I miss them afterwards? And I'll be completely honest, like, not once. Not once. Every time, like, I'm just like, it's very, it's euphoria. It's very it's a really good feeling. It's a really good feeling to have them gone. And um, when they removed them and they sent the breast tissue away to the pathologists to be tested, they did find additional abnormal cells,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is very interesting because if you remember, I was doing the mammograms and I had to have the biopsy. And while everything was benign, there was still a lot of cysts and calcifications and things that could potentially become, cancerous. And so while I think there's some confusion on my TikTok right now where people are like, I've been sharing this just to bring awareness to um, when you identify as non-binary trans, um, you know, and you're getting top surgery, it happens. It is common to come back and have some possible cancer or precancerous cells. And it's not talked about that often. And so, you have people saying, well, like, I thought you were getting top surgery, but did you do this because, you carry a breast cancer gene? Things like that. And it's like, well, maybe it's a combination of both. But my original goal was always top surgery. I just found out along the way that there was additional concerns. And so that was, to me, that was interesting because 11 days post-op I was seeing a new cancer surgeon to talk about genetic testing and my next steps. And very bizarre, but they're still recommending future mammograms already this April, getting a mammogram. And I'm like, pause. How is that going to happen? Like, I have no breast tissue. And she's like, oh, believe me, they will smash it in there. And I was like, I don't want to think about that right now. That sounds so painful to me to even think about.
I think what it's helped me solidify is that there is so much power behind gut feelings. And while for you, it was more cosmetic related, according to, the medical field or whatever, because you wanted to look a certain type of way, there was a piece of you that felt like you weren't connected to them. They were uncomfortable. They were painful. You were in your head about them. And I truly believe that our bodies talk to us by giving us those feelings of uncomfortability and
little flashing red radar lights.
While maybe it was nothing at all, maybe it saved your life. And regardless of what anyone else had to say about it, or what kind of coverage the insurance wanted to give you because of A, B, or C, all of that aside, I think there's a lot of power behind what our bodies tell us without being able to actually speak to us.
Yep. And you have to advocate for yourself. And, I had options, you guys. I could have continued to push for insurance to pay for this and did this as a preventative surgery. I could have. On paper, and you can do this like I watched the cancer surgeon do this on a website. So basically, your family history of cancer, your mammogram and biopsy and ultrasound results, all that stuff, you factor all that stuff in. And the percentage that is considered high risk for breast cancer is 20%. And I fall at 17.8%. So right on that cusp of like, I could be considered high risk. And then at that point, you can take precaution and have surgeries or multiple things done, right? For me, it came down to whether if I was to run it through insurance as a preventative surgery, the surgery would have been done by a cancer surgeon. And there's, no disrespect to cancer surgeons, but I had found my surgeon, my plastic surgeon, and that's who I wanted to perform the surgery. The scary part that we start to get into, the gray area, is now that I'm having genetic testing done and I have to stay up a little bit more on getting every yearly screening done, is that when you have top surgery performed by a cosmetic plastic surgeon, they are not taking away all your breast tissue. And if I was to have this surgery performed by a cancer surgeon, I would not even have my nipples today, and I would not have barely any. My surgery would look very different.
It's a different approach.
It's a completely different approach. And the reason why you take all the steps up front before your top surgery is so when your surgeon is in the middle of surgery and they discover something that is like a big, like, oh my God, that's clearly cancer, they need a cancer surgeon in the room with you. So talking to our today cancer surgeon, she said, yes, if something else was to pop up, and you were to have surgery again, you would keep your nipples. We would go right back into the same incision, and it would be your plastic surgeon with the cancer surgeon. It would be both surgeons working together for that outcome. And so there's just different ways to slice it and dice it and look at it. And I think for me, I've been trying to share my story in real time, obviously, to bring more normalcy to it, of like, hey, this regardless of how I identify, this is happening, and this is where I'm at with this. And I have some backlash on some of my videos that I post with people not agreeing with me, and they're saying like I'm self-mutilating and all of these horrible things of because I wanted to get the top surgery. And, whether you want to believe that or not, at the end of the day, um, I am thankful that I did not wait for somebody to tell me that this is my only route. This is my only choice. I'm in control and I can still be steering this ship on my journey of what works best for me, and being proactive and staying on top of things and making sure that I'm in tune and listening to my body. So I'm happy with my outcome. I'm happy with the direction that it's going, and I'm happy that I am taking the right precaution at this stage, while it's only 17.8% of a risk of breast cancer.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So next up, we meet with the plastic surgeon, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I was supposed to say her name at this point. And hopefully at that point, get clearance to get rid of the binder, get rid of some of the dressings that we've still had to apply daily, and yeah, closer and closer to being back to normal. Your strength is coming back more and more each day. I've had to yell at them a few times for doing things they're not supposed to.
Mm-hmm. I'm a little
It's
stubborn.
hard. It's
Yeah.
hard. We're going a little cabin fever crazy over here, trying to get you out of the house enough. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just navigating it the best that we can. And I think while there have been a lot of ups and downs, and there's a lot of moments that you don't account for or expect,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's helped us grow as a couple and learn more about each other. And I think the biggest word that I like, how do I word this? The one word I would choose to walk away from this entire thing with is vulnerability. It's so much vulnerability
Mm-hmm.
in every aspect, from every angle, from every person involved.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very vulnerable thing to do
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
and be a part of.
yeah. But at the end of the day, clear out all of the noise. I'm so happy. I'm so happy with getting the surgery and being healthy enough to bounce back as fast as, although I'm still recovering, like mentally, like I'm in a really good place, and I feel um a lot stronger than I did a few weeks ago mentally. There were some hard moments,
Mm-hmm.
that we had to overcome, and um you know that's that's normal. That's normal when you're going through really rough times, to have very low points, and especially when there's narcotics involved and hormones shifting and all of the things. And so I'm just really thankful to like mentally be in a better place, and um yeah, looking forward to spending the holidays together as a family. And we just celebrated, this week was our 3-year anniversary. If you don't know, Ember and I met, I feel like you should know at this point, but we met via TikTok December 2nd. Um, and well, we met on TikTok. We met in person for the very first time December 2nd, 2022. And so we celebrated that this week.
Mm-hmm.
And we have other big exciting things to celebrate, like birthdays and holidays, and having our whole family together with all 8 of our boys. And that's always exciting. So just a lot of things to be thankful for. And I think these past 3 weeks, getting through a holiday that I cherish. Thanksgiving is like one that I love, not because of the food, but just to be together. I love being with my people. And that was a little bit harder. It was just the 4 of us, but we had such an amazing time. And
Yeah, we did something so untraditional, but it was actually really great.
yeah,
And um,
it was it's whatever you want to make it. You have to remember, with the holidays, you can't compare the way you celebrate holidays to the way everybody else is sharing their moments, and you find ways to make it special, and the littlest thing can make it so special, and hold on to that. because I think there's these big painted expectations via, Instagram or Facebook, or just how your family talks about it, or people at work, and there's all this pressure to have it be a certain thing, and that doesn't work for everybody. And so um, do what is in your control, and make the most of it that way. Make brand new traditions, like when the old ones die off, or are just not there for you anymore. Make new traditions and make them exciting, and you're in control of your own happiness. That's the one thing you are in control of, is your happiness.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm feeling good, you guys. I go back to work in what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, something like that.
Something
Not
like.
quite 2 weeks, but yeah. Yep. And I think it'll be good for you. Again, I think you're going a little stir crazy being stuck in the house. Some people are great with it, some people aren't so great with it, and
I do okay with it. I do okay.
you do okay.
I do okay.
You do okay.
We're getting there. We're getting there. But yeah, I don't know when we will be back. We will let you guys know, and until then, just have a wonderful winter season, however you celebrate.
Yep.